Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I have some interesting Reddit stories that I'm going to read to you guys while I play around in my Minecraft realm. I know I did mention in my last video that there was going to be a little break because I was actually going out of country. Well, your boy is back. I missed you guys. I hope you missed me as well. And like I said, now that I'm back, hopefully we'll get back on a consistent upload schedule. So be on the lookout for future videos as well. But anyways, guys, I'll keep this intro short. I appreciate you guys tuning into my videos, and let's go ahead and get into our first Reddit story. Our first story is titled, Am I in the Wrong for Telling My Girlfriend to Stop Calling Me at Work? I, 26 male, have been with my girlfriend, 25 female, for 2 years. She works from home. I work in an office. She calls me almost every day while I'm at work. Sometimes it's about something important, but most of the time it's just to chat or tell me something random. I've asked her a few times to text me instead unless it's an emergency. I told her I get busy and I can't always answer. She says okay, but she still calls me. Last week, I was in a meeting with my boss and she called. I let it ring. She called again. I sent a text saying I'm in a meeting. She called again 5 minutes later. My boss looked at me and I felt embarrassed. After my meeting, I called her back and told her she has to stop calling me at work. I said it's not okay to keep calling me when I told her not to. She got upset and said I'm being cold and that she just misses me. She said if I really loved her, I'd be happy to hear from her. Now she's distant and says that I don't care about her. Am I in the wrong? That story is now over. Okay, in my opinion, totally not in the wrong. I can really relate to this guy in the sense of that your job really keeps you busy. When I'm in the office, I work in an office, if you didn't know. A lot of the time when I'm there, I cannot, I could not take a call. Now, my wife and I, we text, during the day. Obviously, that's fine. But I can't be fielding calls during the day while I'm at work. Like I have meetings like this OP have meetings that you have to, go to, whether it's, in person or over Teams, whether, whatever it is. And I have a lot of work and it sounds like the OP does too. So calling really isn't the best form of communication. Texting is, and that's why my wife and I do that instead. And it sounds like this poster, is letting his girlfriend know, hey, I'm busy at work. I can't be fielding calls all day. And even though he's let her know this and kind of set that boundary, it seems like she still doesn't really care and she's still crossing that boundary. And that is embarrassing. Being in a meeting with your boss and your girlfriend's called you not once, twice, but three times. I would not enjoy that. And I feel bad for the poster, and I'm on his side. I don't think you're in the wrong. You've set a boundary. She continues to cross the boundary, and you're kind of just reaffirming that boundary, saying, hey, you can't do this. And I mean, you have an example right in front of her to show her, hey, I was in a meeting with my boss, and you kind of crossed the line. You made me feel embarrassed at work in front of my boss. And that's not a great feeling. So, definitely don't think that the poster is in the wrong here, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into our next story. Our next story is titled My Real Encounter with a Ghost. It was around 1:30 a.m., and I was driving home alone after dropping my friend off at his house. I decided to take a shortcut because the main road would take me about 20 minutes more. The road was completely empty. There were no shops and barely any houses, just trees and fields on both sides. After a few minutes, I saw a woman standing beside the road. She was wearing a white dress. I slowed down because she was standing very close to the road. When I passed her, I looked at my rearview mirror. She was gone. I thought maybe I had imagined her. But 2 minutes later, I saw the same woman again. This time, she was standing in the middle of the road. I stopped my car. I rolled down the window a little and I asked her if she needed any help. She didn't say anything. She slowly turned towards me. I couldn't see her face properly because it was completely dark outside. Then she whispered something. I couldn't understand it. I asked her to repeat it. She looked directly at me and said, "Don't go that way." I looked ahead. There was nothing. When I looked back at her, she was gone. I immediately locked the doors and started driving. I decided to take the main road instead. A few minutes later, my phone started ringing. It was the same friend that I had dropped off at home. I picked up. He sounded scared. He asked me where I was. I told him about the shortcut. There was silence for a few minutes. Then he said, "Bro, don't take that road." I asked him why, out of curiosity. He told me that a woman had died on that road years ago after being hit by a car. People in that area still talked about seeing a woman standing beside the road late at night. I didn't say anything after that. I just drove home as fast as I could. When I reached home, it was almost 2:30 in the morning. I got out of the car and locked it. Before going inside, I looked back at the rear window. There was a handprint on the glass. But the strange thing was, the handprint was on the inside. That story is now over. Okay, guys, I can't lie. If I was in the same situation the OP was in, if I saw someone on the side of the road, drove by them, and then 2, 3 minutes later, I'm driving and then I see them again, and they're in the middle of the road this time, absolutely no way. I'm stopping. I'm just slowing down and going around him. Like when he rolled the window down to talk to her, no, that could not be me. Especially at like 2 in the morning, 1:32 in the morning. Nope, there is no way. Maybe I'm just a scaredy cat. Who knows? That's just my opinion. I am going around them, slowing down, going around them, continuing on my way. Because to me, my first thought would be like, oh, are they trying to like steal my car? Is this some type of like setup type thing? Just something weird. That would just be my sus alarms would be going off, and I'm trying to get home as fast as I can, get out of there. But yeah, I mean, and then the end with the handprint on the window, but on the inside, yep. I mean, that could be anything. I'm not. Could that have been some other time you accidentally put your handprint on the inside of the window? Maybe, or could it be from this creepy experience? Who knows? But that is a scary story nonetheless. I'm happy I've never been in a situation like that, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Alrighty, let's jump into our next story. Our next story is titled, "Am I in the Wrong for Telling My Friend to Collect His Car the Same Day when I Found Out He Was Selling It Off of My Driveway?" Back in March, a friend asked me if he could leave his second car on my driveway for a couple of weeks while he figured out something and somewhere to put it. I have a wide driveway and I only run one car, so I said yes without really thinking about it. It has now been 5 months. I have brought it up twice, and both times he said he was working on it and thanked me for being so cool about it. I let it go both times because it genuinely was not in my way. 2 weeks ago, a man I have never met knocked on my door at about 7:30 in the evening and asked if he could see the silver one. That was the first I knew that my friend had listed his car for sale, with my address on the ad as where you can go to view it. Since then, I have had more than 3 people turn up, one of them arriving while my wife was home on her own with our son, and she had no idea what he was talking about. I called my friend and told him the car needed to be gone by the end of the day. He got it collected, but he was furious about it. And he says I could have given him a week and that I have made him look unreliable to a buyer he had lined up. His girlfriend messaged me afterwards saying I overreacted and that I could have just asked him to change the ad. Am I in the wrong? That story is now over. So, no, this poster, in my opinion, is absolutely not in the wrong. The friend should have let him know first that, hey, you know, I know I've parked this car in your driveway for 5 months, but now I think I'm actually going to sell it. Is it okay to list this as the, address to view the car? And in my opinion, it's really sus giving out your address online when selling things. I don't know. When we sell things, we usually don't give out our address. We would meet somewhere, like in a parking lot for like a supermarket or something like that to sell things, not at your home address, because you don't know what kind of people that ad might attract. It might attract people that are actually interested, but it also could attract people that are wanting to, steal something from your house in the future. You never know. So I would be upset if I were the poster, and I would do the same thing, especially the poster, like he said, he had at one point a potential buyer showed up while it was just his wife and his young son at home. So, no, I don't think this poster is in the wrong. I think this is really just kind of a bad friend, in my opinion, not letting his friend know anything about wanting to list the car at all. The first time the poster finds out is through a random person knocking on his door at 7:30 at night. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get into our next story. Our next story is titled, My Coworker Was Fired After 2 Shifts Due to Multiple Complaints. My first job was a graveyard shift at Target while they performed a complete remodel of the store. One night, I was clocking in when I noticed a new face standing in the doorway to the break room, waving his hand back and forth, trying to get motion sensor for the light to recognize him. Dumbfounded, I watched him for a few moments before he finally gave up, muttered something about the light not working, and then walked away. The light did work, he just wasn't far enough into the room for it to sense him. That was my introduction to a man I'll call Derek, who looked and acted as if he was an antagonistic character from a sitcom who was written to be as dislikable as possible. He looked to be in his mid to late 20s, white, skinny, had short black, spiky hair, piercings, and overall dressed like a Portland hipster. As the night went on, he increasingly got on everyone's nerves with his abrasive and indignant attitude. I was returning from Backstock when I came across him and another coworker, who I'll call Gary because I can't remember his name, talking about each other's tattoos. Gary was trying to be nice, showing genuine interest in Derek's terrible choice in body art, and Derek responded by insulting one of Gary's tattoos, after which the mood completely changed, and Gary, who was visibly insulted, had a look of pure contempt on his face as Derek walked away. Immediately after, Derek had a brief interaction with 2 other coworkers where he asked which of them was Chrissy and which of them was Christy, before making some degrading joke about it not mattering, which once again clearly offended both of them. Never before in my life had I seen someone so quickly turn everyone around them against them in a matter of a few minutes. I didn't see much of him for the rest of that shift. In fact, the last I saw of him, he was messing around with the glassware he was supposed to be moving. I ended up calling in the next night, and by the time I returned, he was gone. According to my coworker, Larry, shout out Larry, Derek, over the course of 24 hours, racked up so many individual complaints that our supervisor fired him on the spot, which caused Derek to freak out, cuss everyone out, and storm out of the building to thankfully never be seen again. I was 18 at the time, and I still sometimes think about that night and what Derek taught me to never be as insufferable and obnoxious as he was. That is the end of our story. So that's a pretty funny story. I mean, not funny in the sense of what Derek was doing, but in the sense of it had a happy ending, and within 48 hours, that man was gone. So I've had some over my time working, I had some interesting coworkers that I've had to deal with. I don't think any like that, but more of I'm talking years and years and years ago. I had some interesting coworkers, but right now all my coworkers are great. But That's just kind of funny to hear about having this guy that was just basically rude and degrading it to everyone. It sounded like he wanted to get fired. Like that sounds like how to get fired 101. Show up to a job and just be rude to everyone, all your coworkers. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Have you ever had anyone that was similar to this Derek that you've had to work with in the past or maybe currently? Anyways, let me know down in the comments. Let's go ahead and get into another story. Our next story is titled A Small Town Ghost Story. When I was 18 years old, I was a brand new mom, knee deep in diapers, and severely lacking on sleep. My baby's father, which is now my husband, and I had just signed the lease on our first home together in a tiny town in Texas. The town was so small that there was just one flashing red traffic light, two gas stations, and one cop who only worked 2 nights a week. The population was well under 1,000 people. Our house was adorable. Pink brick, big backyard, 2 bedrooms, and 1 bathroom. Perfect for our young family. Shortly after moving in, strange things began to happen, and it didn't take long for us to realize we weren't the only ones in this house. Over the next 2 years, it was clear to us that there were at least two entities in the house with us, a woman and a man. The first incident occurred while my husband was home alone with the baby. He was sitting on the couch in the living room when he saw the light, misty shape of a woman pacing in the kitchen. He couldn't make out her face, but he could tell it was definitely a woman wearing a long dress. In the following weeks and months, it seemed like the activity really picked up and was focused in on our daughter's room. Every single day when I went in to get my daughter out of her crib, pictures that were hung up on her wall would be on the floor. The first couple of times, I chalked it up to not having enough thumbtacks holding the larger painted canvases up, but even after reinforcing each painting, it'd still come in to find them all on the floor. At the time, my daughter was so young, there was no way she could have knocked them down, and my husband definitely wouldn't intentionally mess up her room like that. Being a new mom, this activity really irked me. Like, leave me alone, ghost. Mess with someone your own size. The next major incident occurred when my sister and her boyfriend spent the night at our house. At the end of a long night of board games, since we were too broke to have internet or TV, they made a pallet of pillows and blankets on the floor in the living room, and my husband and I retired to our bedroom. The way our house was set up, the living room, kitchen, and dining room were all in front of the house. Then there was a long hallway leading to the bathroom and the 2 bedrooms, which sat directly across from each other at the end of the hallway. The next morning, my sister and her boyfriend looked extremely tired. When we asked how they slept, my sister said we kept waking up every time you went to the bathroom. Confused, I looked at my husband. I didn't go to the bathroom last night. Did you? My sister explained that they heard our bathroom door open and close, then a short pause, the bathroom door open and close, a couple minutes later, then they'd hear the bathroom door open and close, and then the bedroom door again, as if someone was leaving the bedroom, going to the bathroom, then coming back to bed. They heard this sequence at least 3 times that night. I was breastfeeding my 6 month old at the time, and I never closed our bedroom door ever. I always left it open in case the baby woke up in the night. Our rooms were arranged so that I could just sit up in bed and see across the hall into her room. Needless to say, this experience had us thoroughly shook. We started losing sleep, worried that every little sound was something or someone in the house. In Addie's room, I began to feel like I was going crazy. The anxiety consumed my thoughts day and night. Then, one night, I woke up in the middle of the night once again. I sat up in bed and looked toward the hallway to peer into my baby's room. Instead of seeing the warm yellow glow of her nightlight, there was the black shape of a man, opaque and impenetrable black. and he was standing near the foot of my bed, blocking the glow of the nightlight. He was tall, maybe 6 feet tall, with broad shoulders. I couldn't see any of his features as he was solid black, but I got the sense that he was wearing a blazer or some type of suit jacket, which caused his shoulders to look square. Strangely, when I saw him, I didn't feel scared. He didn't feel threatening or spooky like the woman did. In fact, when I realized what I was seeing, I simply rolled over and just went back to sleep. The next morning, I described the night's events to my husband, and we agreed to have the house blessed just in case. After that, the activity stopped. We never had another experience again. That story is now over. Alright, guys, so I have some thoughts on this story. If I was, again, this is maybe because I'm just a little bit of a scaredy cat, but if that was happening in my house and I had a young child in the house too, absolutely, we are out of that place. Like, there's just no way. Like, there's a man and a woman in your house, ghosts jumping around, doing whatever they want to do, like opening doors, closing doors, knocking things off the wall. Like, there is just no way I would want to deal with that. Like, there's got to be there's got to be another way that you could just, I don't know, find another way to somewhere to live. I don't know. I guess it's nice that they were able to bless the house and then from there they had no issues moving forward. So, hey, that's nice. I'm happy they were able to do that. I don't know if I would be doing that. I think after the first 2, 3 things happened and it's like, okay, this is like not just a random coincidence of something weird happening, right? I think I'm out of there. I don't know about you guys, but that's just the first thing that I think is, all right, one thing happens, okay, chalk it up to just a coincidence. Two, three, four, five things start happening all the time. No, I'm just, nope, count me out. I'm out of there. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Has anything ever happened to you guys like this? And maybe your previous home or maybe, hey, your current home. Let me know down in the comments. I'm interested if you have stories like this. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into another story. Our next story is titled Invited to the Dance and Not Any Other Part of the Wedding. My wife got invited to a friend's wedding. We were told to arrive at 9 p.m. I found it weird that it was so late and decided to look into it. I saw the dinner started at 7 p.m. and they didn't write the rest of the schedule. That's when it clicked that they were only asking people to come for the dance and party, which meant still getting gifts. We ended up not going and not sending any type of gift. Who does this? Edit, this did happen in Canada, and it was not something that we had experienced before. Cool to hear about different cultures and how they celebrate, though. That's the end of our story. That was a quick one. But what do you guys think about this? That's kind of crazy to me. I've always been told, if you're going to a wedding, you go to like the ceremony and the reception, not just the reception. But interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that? No, it was a quick one. I just saw it pop up and thought I'd give it a fast read. And let me know what you guys think. Have you ever been invited to a wedding for just the reception? Or maybe yourself had a wedding and invited people only to the reception? Not really sure. And maybe this is just a Canadian thing? Not really sure. But, anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Alrighty, guys. I think that is going to be it from me today. Again, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning into my videos. It means the world to me. If there's any way that I can make these videos better for you guys at all, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. I make these videos for you guys. It's a form of entertainment, and I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you find these videos entertaining. And like I said, I appreciate it so much that you guys continue to come back and watch these videos. It truly does mean the world to me. And like I said kind of in the beginning, now that I'm back, we're back in country, back in the US of A. Expect to see some more videos from me, in the near future. Apologies that I wasn't able to post while I was out of country, but just know I'm back now, and we should be getting back to our regularly scheduled uploads, sequence. So usually 2 uploads a week, or maybe even 3 uploads a week. But anyways, guys, like I said, I really do appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much again for watching these videos. It means so much to me. Thank you again. Last thing I'll touch on before I head out of here is if you have a story of your own that you find, would be an interesting read, or maybe it's just a story that you found online that you think would be an interesting story for me to read and react to, feel free to send it to the email down in the description. Again, guys, love you all. Thanks again for tuning in. It means so much. Alrighty, guys, talk to you soon. Peace.